everyone, and welcome to another edition of Time Sports. I'm your host, Kimberly Cruz, and joining me today we have Johnny Ariana, Mariah Ross, and Corey Johnson. Let's start off talking about America's pastime. It's been a war of negotiations in Major League Baseball. So far, the MLB owners have made it clear they want to shorten the season, but the players want to play as many games as possible. On June 10th, MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred said, quote, "We're going to play baseball in 2020, 100%, unquote. But recently, Manfred said the complete opposite. Quote, "I'm not confident. I think there's real risk, and as long as there's no dial-up, that real risk is going to continue. It's just a disaster for our game. Absolutely no question about it. It shouldn't be happening, and it's important that we find a way to get past it and get the game back on the field for the benefit of our fans," unquote. My question to all of you is, do you believe both sides will be able to compromise and get a deal done?
I think that we will see baseball in 2020. It's just been a matter of when. And so far, it's been kind of difficult when you consider the fact that both sides obviously are trying to negotiate the best deal for themselves. When you look at the players, they want full pro-rated salaries, 100% their salary to be paid. And when you look at the owners, they were kind of not sure about that because they're still trying to, at the end of the day, make money. And majority of baseball salaries was going to depend on whether or not there was going to be a postseason as far as the negotiation process when you look from the MLB perspective. And that's just not something that the players want to, if they're the ones out there putting themselves at risk of potentially getting COVID-19, they don't want their whole entire salary for the season to depend upon the fact of if there's going to be a postseason or not. So I think that it's all a matter of when, and it's a matter of how many games are we going to see. I'm thinking 66 games or so, and I think that's what it seems as if possibly could be the number. Maybe it's only 60, but the more that this stretches out, the more that this goes on, it seems like the season's going to be less and less and less, and that definitely plays into the hands of the owners and not the players.
Yeah, I think for the sake of the fans and for the sport in general, it's important that they do come to a compromise. But honestly, it's looking pretty bleak to me right now. Just the amount of time that it's taken to get this far and to still not have any answers, it's very telling. I think that if they don't come up with the vote tomorrow, and Manfred does end up implementing this season, as people are suggesting that he might, it's going to cause a lot of animosity between the players and the owners and really just damage the sport even further. So whether they're able to come to a compromise or not, a decision needs to be made as soon as possible just to avoid any further complications and animosity between players and owners.
100% I agree with both of you guys. I do believe there will be a season, but there are concerns from both the players and the league owners. So Bob Nightingale of USA Today Sports reported that 40 players and staff have been tested positive for the virus. Obviously, we're still in this America with this virus. In the world, this virus is taking over. Players are concerned about their safety. They're also concerned, as Corey said, about their salaries. They want to push for more games. So what I'm hearing is that MLB they already offered a 60-game. That would be the season. They are going to decide today being Monday, June 22nd at 2 p.m. Pacific, on whether they're going to agree or not. If they do offer a 70-game season to the MLB, MLB will say yes, that they'll compromise with it. But if nothing is agreed upon, Rob Manfred, as you said, Mariah, can mandate the season. But that can really damage the relationship with the MLBPA. It can also affect the free agency period. Remember, if they do this season where Manfred mandates them and basically forces them to play, it's going to ruin a lot even going into next season. And it'll also force a restructure in the CBA collective bargaining agreement. So this weird 2020 season, as much as I love baseball and I want to see baseball, it's going to be felt in 2-3 years down the line. Hopefully they do for the sake of the sport. As you said, Mariah, other sports already come to agreements and they already work stuff out. Baseball hasn't, and it's kind of embarrassing. So I hope they do, as not just a baseball fan, but a sports fan.
So not only does Major League Baseball have to figure out how they're going to start the season, they also have to figure out how to keep everyone involved safe. The coronavirus continues to have an impact on the sports world. Multiple spring training facilities have closed down. The NHL have confirmed 11 players have tested positive for COVID-19, including Toronto Maple Leafs forward Austin Matthews. And the NFL, Dallas Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott, several teammates, and Houston Texans player have tested positive. And even in college sports, over 20 Clemson football players have tested positive. So do you believe the spread of the coronavirus is getting better or worse? And what health and safety measures need to be adopted in the sports world in order to keep everyone safe?
Yeah, just looking at the numbers over the last week or so, especially in the sports world, I think it's safe to say that the virus still is a very real threat, and it's something that we need to be taking seriously. We need to pay attention to our health and our safety. As a fan, it would be very disappointing to not physically be at the games, but it seems like that's what we're going to have to do in order to keep everybody safe. In terms of the players and the coaches and the rest of the staff, I'm really looking to the NBA and seeing what they're doing. The isolating the players, the testing every other day, whether that works or not is obviously remains to be seen. But I think that as of right now, that's the best option we have, and we just have to wait and see how that works. If it doesn't work, then start over, find another plan. But right now, I think that that's the most viable option that we have.
Definitely. What the NBA does have in plan seems to be the best option. Another thing that I look at is the KBO. They've been playing since May. And what they do is they have their players, their staff do a screening before they enter the stadium daily. So it's a thing where they're constantly checking the players, seeing if they're safe, seeing if they have any signs of the virus. If not that, the NBA's program seems to be best. But there's a problem with that. MLB wants to play, for instance, MLB, they want to play in their home cities. NBA is going to everyone playing in the NBA right now is going to be in this Disney Orlando sector. So there's some complications, and it depends on how leagues want to go forward with it. I know soccer, a lot of European soccer leagues have already started. I'm not too sure how they're doing their virus checking and whatnot. But as you stated, the virus is a real threat right now. Many states right here in America have already released their numbers, and they're just rising seemingly. So looking forward, I don't know how it's going to work, but it's something that I really hope that all sports leagues can maintain and manage before we get into the seasons.
Yeah, Johnny, I completely agree with you, and Mariah as well. Like, I think that the testing process really is the main thing, as far as just making sure before everybody enters the stadiums, the arenas, or where have you, that everybody's just staying safe and being able to understand that it's very important that everybody is making sure that they're taking the right precautions, and that everybody is just on the same wavelength as far as this goes. I think that things are trending in the right direction, but still it's hard to say whether or not the numbers are as fully accurate, or it's hard to say if things are really getting better. But I'm still on the optimistic angle that things are getting better. I feel that obviously with things more so opening up, that is going to somewhat put people at risk. But I think that people just have to be aware of their surroundings, and they have to be aware of where they are. And whenever you put like a large group of people in a room or at a certain gathering, that does open up the more chance and possibility of things happening. So I think that it is a good thing that you're starting to see more precautions, and you're starting to see more things go into place as far as making sure that players, staff, coaches, and everyone is pretty much safe when it comes to making sure that sports comes back. But as far as the European sports leagues coming back, especially with European soccer, I know that they have still had players and coaches still being tested positive for the coronavirus. So even though stuff is starting to come back, you still have to be wary that you are still putting yourself and your family potentially at risk. So I think a lot of people need to keep that in mind, that the virus isn't just gone, but they should still keep doing social distancing, keep wearing masks, and keep taking those precautions that have been put out there for the rest of 2020 and going forward.
Definitely, the virus is still a risk, and we'll just have to see how the sports world adapts to it from now on. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode. As always, you can watch all of our past episodes and game highlight packages on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CSUF Kind Sports, and like us on Facebook to stay connected with us. On behalf of everyone here and all of us at Titan Sports, I'm Kimberly Cruz. Remember to keep those tests up, Titans. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.